Hello everyone, my name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Kingdoms. 5 epic marches with legendaries for your murder ball. I have done the video for 5 legendary marches for your murder ball, and I asked if people are actually interested. I can do an epic version with legendaries for the same reason, for your murder ball. So let's dive right into the video. Before I go any further, and I'm gonna talk more about this murder ball, I didn't mention this when I've done the 5 legendary one, because by definition it's actually understandable that if someone actually can have all those 10 legendaries for his murder ball, he can definitely afford expansions. So this is one major problem before we go any further. So if you want to do these 5 marches that I'm gonna tell you next in this video, epics with legendaries, you want to take in consideration 50% army expansion. This is the requirement for this kind of murder ball. When is a murder ball happening, or what does a murder ball mean? It's exactly what is happening when you're going in Ark of Osiris, when you're going in KVK, when is the group battles, when is the huge group battle. That is a murder ball. So that's when people cannot actually target all the nuking marches. So if you have 5 nuking marches on that murder ball, now you can actually imagine that you will definitely dish out a lot of damage, even if you have epics. So the first pair is Sun Tzu with Mehmed. Now I'm gonna try to involve as less legendaries as possible. But Mehmed is one commander that you can get from the gold keys, and all that you need from him is his primary 2 skills. Everything else is extra. So 5/5 Mehmed shouldn't actually take very long for anyone to get from gold keys. So you have Sun Tzu primary and you have Mehmed as a second in command. After that is the undeniable and unbreakable Pelagius primary with Double C as a second in command. Now, Double C, once you maxed out his primary skill, he's good to go. How are his other skills gonna be upgraded? That's pure luck. You get more on his 3rd skill or you get more on his 4th skill, that's just pure luck. But once you maxed out his primary skill, Pelagius and Double C can be a pair. So you have your second pair. Then you wanna go for the 3rd pair, and that would be Babers for the 3rd pair. You have Babers over here, and with Ethelfled. Now you're probably wondering why Ethelfled. She doesn't actually do so much damage with her primary skill. No, she doesn't, but she hits 5 targets. You're going into a murder ball. AoE is at its finest. The more AoE, which is exactly what Ethelfled does, Babers, Sun Tzu, Mehmed, the more AoE you have, the better it is. Pelagius and Double C, they just simply have a very high survivability, because obviously it's a lot of AoE involved. You're also getting a lot of AoE in a murder ball, and Pelagius and Double C can actually sustain all that AoE with the healing that they have together. So you have your 3rd march, you have Babers and Ethelfled. Going for the 4th march is going to be Hermann with YSG. Now YSG should actually be your first commander that you invest on. Even if you're free to play, low spender, even if you're pay to win, YSG should always be your first commander. Any other legendary that I mentioned so far, those are legendaries like Ethelfled. You can get them from the expedition, or you can get them from the gold chest, so you don't have to spend universal sculptures. YSG is the first one where you actually have to spend universal sculptures. So Hermann and YSG can actually be your 4th pair. Now your 5th pair, this all depends on the 2nd legendary that you're working on. So for example, I'm gonna include Genghis because that's always my recommendation. After YSG, it should be Genghis, the next expertise legendary that you work on as free to play low spender. Now if you're going for Genghis, the 5th pair would be Genghis with Osman. So this is your 5 heavy nuking marches. But like I mentioned, the requirement is 50% army expansion. If you don't use a 50% army expansion, you might not be as happy as you wanted to about the results. And then it also comes the second thing, which don't try to be a hero, meaning that you have glass cannon type of marches. Don't go first, because you'll not be very happy with the results. You have infantry, you have players with tanking marches, you have T5 players. Always let them go first, let them start the battle, and then you just go in and you dish out damage like a Terminator. Because this is what your marchers are built for, to do damage. And also the 50% army expansion. Now I'm gonna do another small version because I know a lot of players are going for Saladin. Saladin is a very small investment. You can do 5-5-5-1, and he's literally as good as an expert Saladin, or almost. It's like 90%. So you don't have to invest the other 310 sculptures just to obtain his expertise. By just investing 380 sculptures in his first 3 primary skills, you can actually have a very powerful Saladin. Now, if that is the situation and you haven't went for Genghis like I suggested in my videos, and you went for Saladin as your second, then I would do Saladin and YSG, and then you have Herman and Osman. So that would be the modification. If I would actually go for Saladin, I wouldn't do Saladin and Osman, I would do Saladin and YSG, and I would do Herman and Osman. That would be the modification that I would do if you have Saladin and don't have Genghis Khan. Other modifications that you can do, that all depends on the commanders that you have worked on. The list can go on and on and on, but you have the base pairs, you have them over here. And in the future, if you actually work on Keira and you actually max Keira out and you want to include her, I would do Keira and YSG. Is definitely worth it. Keira and YSG both together would actually do a lot of damage. You can also check Keira Commander Spotlight. I did talk a lot more about her over there. So that would be the pair that I would do. I would replace Herman. I would prefer to keep just one archer march on the field. You're noticing that you also have only one infantry march and you have about 3 cav marches on the field. I would rather keep it like that. On the field, I would say that it's much more beneficial for you, and you really have a lot of results. If you want to do 5 cav marches like I do, well, that's a whole different story. But this is just doing a lot of pure nuke damage for your murder ball. And I'm pretty sure that if you actually want to try this as free-to-play low spender, it will definitely give you a lot of results. But like I mentioned, there's requirements. 50% army expansions to actually get the most out of this. 2, don't try to be a hero and don't go in first. Let the others go in first and then you go first. Obviously, some of your marchers will definitely be targeted, but you have 5. You have 5 nuking marchers. So even if 1 goes down, 2 goes down, you're still gonna do a lot of damage with the other ones. More to talk about murder ball marchers, including epic. There's not much more to say. Joan of Arc is not worth it to be included. Kusunoki as well, they do very low skill damage. You need commanders that do as high skill damage as possible. Eulji as well, he does very low skill damage and only 1 target, so definitely not something you want to be included. Boudica is okay, but she is kind of a universal commander. She doesn't have a specific specialization. Even though she has 1000 damage factor, it's nothing that crazy. There's other commanders that do much better and a lot more damage packed, which are nuking oriented for this particular reason, for this particular purpose, for this murder ball. If you have other legendaries like Richard or you have Charles or upgraded, those commanders are not really for a murder ball because they actually don't have skill damage. So if you want to bring them, then you're automatically doing something different. You want to be a tank. So if you want to include Charles, Richard, you want to include Constantine, then you're already turning yourself into a tanking player. So by being a tanking player, then you're already not doing the amount of damage for the murder ball. It's kind of the options that you can do. So you can either go with very high nuking marchers, or you either go with some very tanking marchers. If you want to do semi, I'm not sure if you will be very happy with the result, because people are not going to intentionally just target your tanking marches, so your nuking marches can actually do damage. So this is why it's preferable. This is why I do 5 cav marchers, because I know that always 1 or 2 marchers will get knocked down, but I'll always have the other 3 marchers that will gonna do damage. It's similar situation with this 5 nuking marchers with this murder ball that I'm trying to explain in this video. You want to go full nuking or you want to go full defensive. This is kind of the options that you have right now. If you want to go full defensive as free to play, I don't think that is a good option, and I'll be very honest, because one, you have no escape, there is no retreat, and 2, the epic commanders, they're not tanking. The epic commanders that are right now into the game, they're not tanking. So you want to let some pay to win player, someone that invested heavily in tanking marchers, tanking commanders, which is plenty of them. You want to let them take out the damage, take out the heat of the battle, and then you want to go in with your nuking marchers. If you have any questions about this, or if you have anything to add regarding to these 5 marchers for your murder ball, then you can definitely leave them in the comment section below. So I'm just going to do a quick recap. So it's Sun Tzu and Mehmed, it's Herman and YSG, it's Pelagius and Double C, it's Babers with Ethelflaed, and it's Genghis with Osman. And if you do have Saladin and you don't have Genghis, then you can do Saladin YSG and you can do Herman with Osman. So that would be your 5 epic with legendary marchers for your murder ball. I hope you find this very helpful, and I hope you actually understand what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to help you out with this video. This kind of marchers, this kind of murder ball can actually work in Ark of Osiris or Osiris League. So that's also a very good place where you can actually test them. Until next time, this is your Bullet Journey signing off. Peace out, yo, and take care. Be safe out there. Stay safe. See you guys on the next video.